Heya, it's me, Matthew. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Last time we talked about the story of Moses, and we learned that Moses was used by God to save God's people from the Egyptians, who were enslaving them. We also learned that God comforted Moses when he gave excuses or reasons why he wasn't the man for the job. Today, we're going to continue that story of Moses. It's going to be fun. Come on! Bible! Story! Time! Bible story time. Last time, we left off with the Israelite people leaving Egypt in a hurry. And they were headed into the wilderness. We pick up our story in Exodus chapter 13 and 14. I encourage you to pause this video and go and read it. As the Israelite people were wandering, they were being led by a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of cloud by day. Pretty crazy. And it says that these pillars did not depart from God's people. And while they were wandering in the desert, or the wilderness, Pharaoh had changed his mind. What have we done? We've let the Israelite people go free? After them! He was angry, and he gathered his army to go get the Israelite people back. Meanwhile, the Israelite people had reached the Red Sea, and while in camp there, they heard off in the distance a noise getting closer and closer to them. It was the sound of hundreds of horses. Pharaoh's army. I could only imagine the fear that was welling up inside them, as on one side they had the Red Sea, and on the other they had Pharaoh and his army. Question! What do you think the Israelites did next? They cried out to God. They went to find Moses and talked to him. Moses! It would have been better for us to stay as slaves in Egypt than die out here in the wilderness. Fear not, stand firm, and you'll see the salvation of the Lord. He will work it out for you today. The Egyptians you see before us, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. All you have to do is remain silent. Let's go. They only had to be silent and wait and see? Ugh. I feel like this is the toughest thing to do, especially when you're scared. You just want to hide and run and get away from it, right? Or you want to take control and be in charge. But the Lord told his people to wait and be silent. He heard his people's cry, and he told Moses to hold his hand out and his staff over the sea so that it would part and the Israelite people would be able to walk across on dry land. God also moved the pillar of cloud in between Pharaoh's army and the Israelites, so that the Israelites would have time to cross the Red Sea on dry land. It also confused the Pharaoh's army, right? And this is where my part of the story where my brain goes nuts, my imagination. I told you guys I have a pretty big imagination, but like as the Israelite people are walking through, we're just fish, like schools of fish, like an aquarium. That's pretty cool. Or were there fish like jumping across, like over their heads? And I'm sure they were like crawling over rocks and like moving things. And I don't even know, were there fish flopping on the ground because they didn't make it into the water in time? And I bet you it was loud and stinky down there. Anyways, my imagination goes crazy sometimes. The Israelite people make it to the other side. And they look back and they can see the Egyptian army making their way through the Red Sea on dry land too. And they start to panic. But God tells Moses to outstretch his hand again with his staff. And as he does it, the waters collapse on the Egyptian army, completely destroying it. The Israelite people let out a big cheer. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! The people of Israel saw the power of the Lord, and they believed in him even more. A final thought for us today to think about and talk about as we go. Has there been a moment in your life where you saw God do something and it made you believe in Him even more? It strengthened your faith? Maybe it was an answer to prayer, or maybe you saw a super powerful storm, or you saw His glory and majesty in the nature around you. Whatever it is, think about it and talk about it with somebody this week. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!